So one of the previous members of Sad Milk by the name of OneTopicAtATime just made a video in regards to the Illuminati situation, and I wanted to go over it. Without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. First topic he covers is actually the Sad Milk situation.
I was in a fun group project called Sad Milk, which I was pretty proud of, and I shouted it out constantly in videos and streams and other projects. Tons of positive aspects initially, but the value of those aspects ended up watered down over time, and my friends and I left the project when the good no longer outweighed the bad. Anyways, Illuminaughtii has dropped a video about it, one that at the time of recording this is still up, and it should be taken down. It did not properly outline what the members of the group accomplished in terms of work, and the vague accusations that payments weren't made and were still an issue right to the end of the project is also just odd. From my recollection, after things started to get more serious and we had a few recordings, it became pretty clear early on that a couple members couldn't really afford the cost of a fun side project, and we had conversations as a group about how to solve for that because we didn't want to exclude our friends. One solution discussed, for example, was the rest of the group taking on those costs. For example, when we found out that one of the group members couldn't get the 100K plaque because they couldn't afford the cost of it, we discussed pitching in together with our earnings to get it for them.
So when it comes to this point that One Topic makes, I'm completely enticed to believe him and the other members of Sad Milk because, for one, there's more witnesses that actually attest to payments not being an issue, and two, when Blair actually tried to provide a receipt of apparently payments being an issue with Sad Milk, the one receipt she provided literally showed that Click just wasn't paying money to an editor because he couldn't due to a bank issue. Now on to the next point that One Topic brings up, which is the situation with Click and his Discord server.
It made me uncomfortable to hear words or intentions put in my mouth regarding the group call whose framing in the video does not comport with reality. The retelling of how our group conversation went and using it as a way to frame the situation as Click not actioning soon enough or responding timely is simply a lie. By the time we got into our one-on-one call and even the group call, it had already been taken care of. The person who had been inappropriate was banned from his Discord. I was spending time with Human One before she had to be ready for work when I got the DMs, so I went over to my mic to try to figure out what was going on. The one-on-one call was more to check in on, do you think he would support this person's behavior? And I said no, but that we should really be talking to him directly about this. We all got into a group call and confirmed everything had been taken care of prior to the call. The person had been banned, and no, of course, he doesn't condone their behavior, and if he had been awake for it, he would have jumped on it immediately, and that he'll talk to his mods about it directly, and so on and so forth.
Honestly, this really just goes to show how much of an actual compulsive liar Blair is, right? Not only did Click already prove his innocence within his own response video, right? But you can actually see a DM exchange between One Topic and Click that happened right after the call, where One Topic himself acknowledges that Blair didn't take things to the worst conclusion because of his presence being there, right? Which means that within the call, Blair herself had to have acknowledged that Click was not awake during the situation.
Struggling with mental health was something I related to strongly with other members of the group, and we talked pretty openly about it. Our fears, our insecurities. One thing I never thought would be released was personal details about a group member's mental health or their struggles. I figured those kind of personal details would be off limits and no way would be used as a weapon. We were surprised by the Reddit posts. Certainly, the details from the troll account were so specific. But behind the scenes, I was constantly reminding people not to jump to conclusions about this, that even though the timing was strange and the details were so specific, we should not be paranoid about who it originated from. I don't have a lot of interest in going over the Doobie Schmertz accounts themselves in detail. Either the one on Reddit or the ones on Twitter or however many other alt accounts. There were specific portions of the posts on Reddit from the troll account that stood out to me, and intentional phrasing to drive a wedge between Click and I. And One Topic is friends with someone while pretending to be wholesome and good. I think One Topic is a liar and a sham, and has been pandering to our community if he stays friends with someone like this. He is using us for money. I know I'm going to be leaving and stop supporting him on Patreon. Sounded so... I couldn't believe that this was the person who would say that.
Genuinely cannot be reiterated enough how much of a genuine scumbag Blair is for doing all of this. Seriously, like, I cannot imagine just having to deal with a former friend and a former colleague of yours, right? Actually going out of their way to try to ruin your career just because they weren't happy with the ending of a project that ended sour because of her and her own fault. On top of this as well, also weaponizing Wonder's mental health and then also trying to send him a cease and desist when he tries to defend himself. I feel so bad for OneTopic especially when he gets emotional at the end, because I just could not imagine having to deal with a person like this for just multiple years. You know, here he is, literally all he wanted to do simply was just end Sad Milk, part ways on completely good terms, and that was it, right? Leave it there. But no, she just had to keep going and keep escalating. Now that's where I'm going to end off my video here. There are some other points that he brings up, but to be honest with you, I do want to actually exclude those, so I do give more of an incentive for people to go watch his video itself and not just only watch this video. So I will be linking his video down in the description below. Make sure to go support him, and yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all again next time. Peace.